guys, it's Elise. Welcome back to my channel where I like to talk about all things personal finance, and this video is July's installment of my emergency fund update for 2025 because I'm trying to save a significant amount of money, and I do these videos to keep myself accountable and to share so we can mutually stay inspired to get this goal done, as I feel like that's helpful. And thankfully, with my sharing, you guys have also shared with me some things or some goals that you guys have made for yourselves and how you are actually getting them done. So I love coming to y'all periodically to share my troubles and my delights in this whole process. And I will say for July, it was a relatively docile month. It wasn't volatile at all, and it was simple. That's a good thing though, because number one, I didn't have any emergencies. Thank you, Lord. That's part of the process. And it was a simple month. Nothing interesting or too crazy happened, and it was peaceful. And you can say that's uneventful, but that's how you want it to be, because there were a couple months this year where they were more eventful than I wanted them to be. So it's kind of like when you're in a healthy relationship after being in a toxic one, you can feel sometimes like, is this all there is? But that is part of personal finance and getting better and getting wealthier. If you are just consistent and do the things, like, it's not fancy, it's not dramatic, it's just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So I can report that I was able to pay my bills, which is a larger feat for me because, as a good amount of you may know, I am a server in the hospitality industry. And we have peak seasons and low seasons, and summer for me is a low season. Last summer, I had to actually take out of my savings. So I have just been praying, Lord, just please let me not have to touch my savings. And then it's a tall order to ask him, can I also get some more money in my savings? But this summer has been fine. Even though I do live in South Florida, Miami area, my bills have been paid. Even though technically we're slow, my bills have been paid. And actually, I did the math, or I'm looking at my bank statements. I am trending to make less money than I have in the past year. And I just think it's crazy because I'm like, how much money can I not make at this point? Like, I'm not making that much money. But how is it that with me making less money, my bills are still being paid, and I'm like being able to do more with the less money that I'm making? And that is all the Lord. Jesus Christ, thank you so much. I'm very grateful, and I just hope it continues that way. I just hope my oil never depletes from my jar. You know what I'm saying? So that's half the battle. It's slow, but the bills are being paid. So in a few minutes, the latter half of the video, I'm going to go into the details of all the actual funds and some new things that happened, particularly this month, because this is a dividend paying month. I did want to talk about low spend, second mortgage payoff gate. That is what my goal is. But I decided that on like day 10 or 11 of July, and by that point though, day 1 through 9, I had spent a lot of money. So by the time August 31st came, I did do well in not spending, but I kind of broke even. It wasn't like I was able to reap so much benefits from no spend, which is different now in August because July was soft launch, August is hard launch. So I pretty much made it even, like I said a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit more than even, which I'll tell you about in the details. But now that we are hard launching paying off the second mortgage, which my goal is to do it by my birthday, which I think I can. It's a $5,000 bill that I just want out of my life before I buy a car. And then two things that I want to mention that I think are going to help me with my no spending second mortgage payoff that I think important to note is, number one, rare socialization. Specifically in August, I know I can cut it out. And in September, I might do it a little bit more, but all of my friends know I'm a budgetnista, so they know it's going to be budget appropriate. And I flat out had told some people I can't really do certain things because of what I'm doing, and they understand. You know what I'm saying? And then the second thing that I think is going to help is I'm putting some things on pause that I've been talking about. First one that you guys know about, especially with these videos, is my credit card payoff. My credit card payoff has been around, but it started around 5. Now it's on the precipice of being 3. I've decided to pause that significantly for the most part until December. I want to look up in 5 months to see where I'm at. Now, I did put a little bit down just because I couldn't help it. I just put like $10, $15 to it. but I was trying to put like $50, $60 a month. I'm not doing that anymore. And then the second thing that I'm putting on pause is that one extra payment for my first mortgage, because that payment is very low. It's less than $1,000, and I already put something towards it. And I've been trying to like scramble any extra cash that I could find. I'm not doing that. I will see and reevaluate where I'm at in December. If No Spend is doing super well, maybe I can put something down. But again, I have to get $3,000 as soon as possible. And it's not like I have a lot of $3,000 extra, right? Because I'm trying to save $6,000 for this year. And I say $3,000, the mortgage is $5,000. However, I do have $2,000 to $2,500 from the sale of my car. And I was originally going to use that for the down payment of my car, but I said, no, put all that money towards your mortgage. So instead of a 5,000 fee, it's only 3,000. And when you need the down payment for your car, I might have a chance of not paying anything down because it's not going to be a big loan, and I have really good credit. So I might be able to get away with that. Let me know in the comments if you think that's a good deal. Should I have a down payment for my car, or should I just roll into the loan? But if not, I feel like I can come up with $2,000 quick. And I'm also hoping my taxes help me. Even if it's $250, $250 towards $3,000 is going to be helpful. But my tax lady is really good, and she'd be able to work her magic. This year she might not be able to, but it's okay. I'm grateful because she's done it for like 3 years. So, you know, nobody's perfect. But yeah, that's where it is as far as like church announcements in this particular drop of my emergency fund videos. And now I'm going to talk about like the actual details right now. Okay, guys. So as far as getting to the nitty gritty of details, we are going to compute the funds that I've been able to add to my savings this month in July. So for the Pay Myself First Fund, which is $129 every month, that is actually in my monthly budget. I was able to make that. Awesome. Then as far as my paycheck fund, which is $40 for each paycheck, I was able to do that as well. I had 2 paychecks this month in, July. It's weird sometimes because I'm in August, but I'm talking about July. So I apologize for that. And then, is this playing? I think it's playing. Yeah. Okay. And then something that's usually uneventful, but is eventful this month is my dividend payment. I got paid from my last employer dividends. It was really August 1st, but I always put it into the last month. I've done that routinely. And that was $250 of that check I put towards my savings. That allows me to save at minimum $1,000. So I like to think that my last employer is still paying my bills after all they put me through. Yes, they still pay me. So that's awesome. So let's add the last one, which is my cash fund, which doesn't really go into an establishment, but I like to have some sort of cash. I think it's important to have some cash. And because cash happens right now, in case I need it right now, I was able to save $40 this month because I take $10 a week from my food budget, or sometimes my cash tips, whichever one is easier for me. And I was able to do that. So when you add all of that, the monthly addition to my emergency savings fund was $499, which is awesome. That only really happens 4 times a year when you take into account the dividend payment that I get quarterly. Now, as far as no spending, I just want to put that for this month, or add for this month, I paid $15 off of my credit card. So instead of the balance being $430, which it has stayed stagnant the last 2 months, I believe, it's actually $415. I just couldn't help myself. I don't know if I'm going to do that this month in August. I'm going to try not to, because again, I got to find an extra $3,000, but sometimes it's like, what is $15? And then I'm hoping when I look in December, it's like $300, and I can just pay that somehow. I don't know. Money falls from the ceiling from me and when I talk about the ceiling heaven, it does that often for me, I will say. And then I was able from no spend July, even though I didn't start it the whole of July, I started it almost in the middle. I was able to take $129 and I put it into a sinking fund that I named in my Ally bank account, second mortgage payoff. And I'll try to put a screenshot in there for y'all to see. I put the goal to be $3,000. So, you know, for me to kind of have haphazardly done it in July, I was able to save something. And it would be really nice if in August I was able to save, I'm gonna put a number out there, $500. You know, y'all know I aim high at things. Let's say $500. What a difference. 129, 500, if I could find 500 extra dollars, that's what I'm hoping. And this is how drastic this no spend is going to be, especially since I'm not socializing in August. I'm hoping. That's it, guys. Let me know again, also in the comments, anything that you think would be a good suggestion for me. Let me know how you're doing in your journey, and I will see you guys next week for my Thursday videos, but also next installment, which will be August emergency fund update. Thank you. See you later. Bye.